Yo, what's up everybody? It's Lawrence here and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of international shipping, specifically how to get those packages moving smoothly from China to Nigeria. Whether you're a seasoned importer or just starting out, navigating this process can feel like its own adventure. We're talking about finding the right suppliers, understanding customs regulations, and making sure your precious cargo arrives safe and sound. Trust me, I've been there, and I've learned a lot along the way. We'll unpack all the essential steps, from sourcing products to dealing with logistics, so you can import with confidence. This is your one-stop shop for mastering the China to Nigeria shipping game. So if you're ready to level up your import game, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Alright, before we even talk shipping, let's talk about finding the right products. China is a massive marketplace, and I mean massive. You've got platforms like Alibaba, global sources, even made in China.com. Each one has its own vibe, its own strengths. Alibaba is like the giant shopping mall, endless options, from electronics to clothing to, well, pretty much anything you can imagine. Global sources is more about that direct factory connection, perfect if you're thinking big, like serious bulk orders. And made in China? Think of it as the curated experience, focusing on quality and verified suppliers. Now, when you're browsing, don't just jump on the first supplier you see, no matter how good the deal seems. Do your research, check their ratings, read reviews from other buyers, and don't be afraid to ask for samples. Remember, this is your business, your investment. Communication is key here. Talk to the suppliers directly. Get a feel for their responsiveness, their professionalism. Are they quick to answer your questions? Do they seem genuinely interested in helping you out? These are good signs. And here's a pro tip. Look for suppliers who are already experienced in shipping to Nigeria. They'll know the ins and outs, the paperwork, the whole 9 yards. It'll save you a ton of headaches down the line. Finally, don't be afraid to negotiate. Prices in China aren't always set in stone, especially for larger orders. Be polite, be respectful, but don't be afraid to haggle a bit. You might be surprised at what kind of deals you can land. Okay, so you've found the perfect products. You've secured the deal. Now it's time to talk shipping. This is where things can get a little tricky. But don't worry, I've got you covered. You've got basically two main options: sea freight and air freight. Sea freight is like the slow and steady cruise ship. It takes longer, sometimes weeks, but it's generally cheaper, especially for larger shipments. Think of it as the value option. Air freight, on the other hand, is like hopping on a jet plane. It's faster, obviously, but it's also more expensive. If you're on a tight deadline or shipping smaller, high-value items, air freight might be the way to go. Now, within each of these options, you've got different shipping terms to consider. XIW, FOBI, CIF, XW, or X-Works means you're responsible for everything, from picking up the goods at the factory in China to getting them all the way to your doorstep in Nigeria. FOB, or free on board, is a bit simpler. The supplier takes care of getting the goods onto the ship in China, and from there, it's your responsibility. And then there's CIF, or cost insurance and freight. This one's pretty comprehensive. The supplier covers everything, including insurance, until the goods arrive at the port in Nigeria. Choosing the right shipping term depends on your budget, your risk tolerance, and how much control you want over the process. Do your research, compare quotes from different freight forwarders, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Alright, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, customs. I know, paperwork isn't the most exciting thing, but trust me, getting this part right is crucial. First things first, you need to understand the import regulations for your specific products. Nigeria has its own set of rules and restrictions, so make sure you're familiar with them. You can check out the Nigerian Customs Service website or talk to a customs broker for guidance. Next up, you'll need a bunch of documents: commercial invoice, packing list, bill of lading or airway bill, and maybe even some special certificates depending on what you're importing. These documents basically tell customs what you're importing, how much it's worth, and where it's coming from. Now, here's a pro tip. Make sure all your documents are accurate and consistent. Any discrepancies, even small ones, can lead to delays and extra fees. Trust me, you don't want to mess with Nigerian customs. And speaking of fees, Be prepared to pay import duties and taxes. These are calculated based on the value of your goods and the specific product category. Again, a customs broker can help you figure out how much you'll need to pay. Finally, consider getting cargo insurance. This will protect you financially in case your goods are damaged or lost in transit. It's an extra cost, but it can save you a lot of headache and money in the long run. Your shipment has arrived in Nigeria. Time to celebrate, right? Well, not so fast. You still need to clear your goods through customs and get them to their final destination. Once your shipment arrives at the port, you'll need to file an entry with Nigerian customs. This is where those documents we talked about earlier come into play. Make sure you have everything in order and be prepared to pay any applicable duties and taxes. Now, you can choose to clear your goods yourself, but honestly, unless you're a seasoned importer, I highly recommend hiring a licensed customs broker. They know the ins and outs of the process, they speak the language, and they can help you avoid any unnecessary delays or penalties. Once your goods are cleared, you'll need to arrange transportation to your warehouse or final destination. Again, you have options here: trucking companies, logistics providers, even motorcycle delivery services for smaller packages. Choose the option that best suits your needs and budget. And here's a final pro tip. Before you sign off on anything, inspect your goods carefully for any damage or discrepancies. If you find anything wrong, report it immediately to the shipping company or freight forwarder. Alright, we've covered a lot of ground, but before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with some bonus tips to really up your shipping game. First up, build strong relationships with your suppliers and freight forwarders. Communication is key in this business, so the better you know your partners, the smoother the process will be. Second, stay organized. Keep track of all your documents, invoices, tracking numbers, everything. A little organization goes a long way in this game. Third, be patient. Shipping from China to Nigeria takes time, and there will inevitably be bumps along the way. Don't stress out over every little delay. Just breathe, stay informed, and trust the process. Fourth, consider using a sourcing agent, especially if you're new to importing or working with a new supplier. They can help you navigate the Chinese market, negotiate prices, and even oversee production. Think of them as your boots on the ground in China. Fifth, don't be afraid to ask questions. Whether it's your supplier, freight forwarder, or customs broker, if you're unsure about something, just ask. It's better to ask a stupid question than to make a costly mistake. Finally, stay informed. The world of international shipping is constantly changing, so stay up to date on the latest regulations, trends, and best practices. There you have it, your complete guide to shipping like a pro from China to Nigeria. I know it seems like a lot to take in, but trust me, once you've done it a few times, it becomes second nature. Just remember to do your research, choose your partners wisely, and stay organized. And hey, if you ever have any questions, you know where to find me. Don't forget to drop a comment below with your biggest shipping challenges or any tips you've picked up along the way. Now go out there and crush it. And until next time, keep those shipments moving. Peace!